Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes to join. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Business with Marcelle. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, tea, whatever it is that you like to drink in the morning, and come join me on live as we talk about business. And this week, we will be talking about the IMPACT Masterclass that's coming up July 8th through the 12th. I am so very excited about this. I cannot wait to tell everyone about all the details of what's going to be going on, what you're going to learn, or better yet, how you're going to transform your business to the next revenue level. I am so excited. I can't wait to start talking about it. But in the meantime, I'm going to let like a little bit of people get in before I just jump right in and start talking about it, because I got so much information that I want to unpack, and let you all know what's going on. And also, we're going to have just a slight few format changes. Not that much, but I'm just really excited. Like today is coming off a Memorial Weekend. I hope you all were able to get in touch with your family, spend some time with your family, or better yet, if you have someone in your family that, was in the military and they were of service, that you reached out to them to let them know that you appreciate their service. So anyway, so let me just go ahead and just jump into it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marcelle Collins-Clyburn. I am president and CEO of MCC and Associates, Inc. And what I do is I work with high achieving CEOs who are at the 7-8 figure level and need a comprehensive strategic plan in order to elevate their business 10x. So, and what that means. So when you have started, I'm really not, let me just say, if you are a startup, I'm really not the consultant for you, because you have not yet established certain marketing and sales goals and revenue goals in order to be able to take your business to a new income. You're just starting out. My services are for, veteran CEOs who have consistently made 6, 7, 8 figures, and they want to develop a growth strategy. And what is a growth strategy? A growth strategy is a comprehensive plan that you put together that will allow you to put a revenue plan in place for multiple years. Just like right now, right about now here in North Carolina, I'm not sure in other states, but in North Carolina, we have a grant process that's now getting ready to open called Beyond Open Grant. And what that grant details is, in order for you to be able to apply for this grant, you have to have been in business for at least a year, $30,000 in revenue, no more than $5 million in revenue. So a lot of my clients will fit in that sweet spot because their revenue is between 1.5 to like 4 million. So they fit within that within that revenue bracket, which means that they can qualify for the highest level grant, which is 150,000. So when I work with my clients, in order for them to apply for that grant, I would get them to apply at the highest level, which is the 150,000. So what I do is take that 150,000 and then I tell a story to the grant committee, and they're going to take this 150, develop either a new product, service, or buy some heavy equipment, and they will take that and be able to scale their business to another level of millions. So those are the type of stories that you want to be able to tell when you are applying for grants. A lot of times, we will get the spreadsheets and, put together some calculations on how we will spend it. But however, a lot of times of what's missing is that we don't tell the story of how we're going to take that income and grow the business. How we're going to take, whether not the income, but the grant to grow the business. And that's very, very important because, we tend to get funding, whether it's via grant or via a loan or an angel investor, and then we spend the money on exactly what we say that we're going to purchase. But however, what we don't do is take it to the next level and be able to say, well, let me take this $150,000 and in the next 5 years, I'm going to 10x this money. If you don't have a plan, or if you don't get with someone like me who is an operation strategist, a lot of times, you get the money and you spend it and that's it. And then next thing you know, you're looking for more funding, which is very unfortunate. You should be able to take $150,000 and say, I'm going to invest the whole amount into my business and make 10 million. In the next 5 years. And that's one of the things that we're going to learn, or that you're going to learn, that I'm going to teach you during my IMPACT Masterclass. Again, the IMPACT Masterclass is July 8th through the 12th. And I'm going to really show you how I take a 3-step system and not a process. One of the things that I believe in is working in systems. When you develop a system within your business, that means that you create processes within that system that you can delegate to those who work for you. So a lot of times, people will come to a person like me as a consultant, and what they would want to do is, develop a process. But for me, I would prefer for you to develop a system so that you can implement that system into your various resources, and it becomes a process for, say, your admin, your customer service rep, and your sales rep. And how do I do that? We first start within the 3-step system, we first start with a business assessment. And I take a business assessment and I'm going to break that down into 4 levels. It's going to be your revenue. And again, your revenue doesn't necessarily have anything to do with money. What that revenue means is why customers or clients want to do business with you. You're going to break that down into whether it's your profits not profits, but your products or your service, or either both, because some businesses can be a hybrid business where they sell both products and services. So, and then from there, I'm going to look at your revenue and see, what products or services that you sell, what's making the most money, and what's, and like me, I have to admit, when I first started my business over 7 years ago, I listed a whole ton of services that my consulting company would provide. But however, because I wasn't utilizing the proper KPI reports, I really didn't know what my business was really making, what product or what service, better yet, was making me the most money so that I could focus on. And that's a lot of things that, a lot of times we as business owners, we make that mistake. Is that, we want to be able to, hey, I want to be able to get out, I want to sell everything. No, you can't sell everything, because a lot of times we, develop a product or we develop a service because we think that's what our customers want, versus really listening to our customers, or better yet, doing the proper market research to see, what is the pain points or what is the most popular product that our clients want to purchase. So we fail at that part. So what I do is I come in and I look at everything that you sell, and then I'm going to want to see, based upon your P&L statements, which one of these products or which service made you the most money. And that's what we need to focus on, what you need to focus on, and tailor down and get rid of services or even products that's not servicing your business. You want to focus on what's making you the most money. Hence the reason why I really focus my company on, the operations component, and specifically, generating systems, also generating strategic plans, because this is one of the key things that my clients, when I looked at all of my clients in one bucket and wanted to be able to say, why are people really coming to me? And what they really come to me is for the planning piece and also the system building within their business. So that's what we look at first. That's the first quadrant, is the revenue. What you want to look at, because once you develop a product or a service, the next thing you want to do is develop a marketing plan around it. Those would be some things. I'm not a marketing expert. I do have resources that are marketing experts. But then what we do is we look at how you're marketing your business. Are you on the proper platforms? You could be really, trying to push Facebook and push Instagram, but being a service-based business, where you probably will want to focus on, if you want corporate clients, high demand clients, is LinkedIn, which is also where I normally pivot from Instagram to LinkedIn. And that's because I have a larger following on Instagram than I do LinkedIn. But however, the strategy for my team and I is to do more on LinkedIn, because that's where my clients reside. So then from marketing, the next part of the system where we build a process is your sales. Again, I'm not a sales expert, but I do have resources that are sales experts. And then we look at, how are you getting leads, and then taking those leads and converting them to sales, making these people your actual buyers. Like, how are you converting leads to buyers? And then from your buyers, from your sales process, then what we do is look at operations. And of course, that's where I come in. How are you servicing, the clients that you're actually converting? How are you continuously making them repeat buyers? How are you, even how is this client experience with you? What are you doing to make sure that those that you have converted into clients, they're having a good experience, again, where they can be repeat clients, customers over and over and over again. And then a lot of times is that when we look at those 4 quadrants of your business, what we fail to realize is that we haven't, developed any plan to grow that. Because again, everyone knows what you did in your business to go from 0 to 6 figures is not the same thing that you're going to need to go to 7, 8, 9, 10 figures and beyond. You're going to need different strategies. You're going to need to grow your team. So what you're going to need is a comprehensive plan. At least, I always say, at least within a 5-year span. You can go high level and create a 10-year, but again, it's more responsible, that I would say, is that to go into a 5-year plan, because as you grow, as you expand your business, as you get funding, again, going back to the Beyond Open grant, you want to be able to take that new money that's filtering in your business and 10x it. So how you do that, again, is by coming and working with someone like me to create a strategic plan. So once you complete the assessment part, we look at the 4 quadrants, your assessment is complete, then what we do is take it to the next level, which will be day 2 of our masterclass, is looking at where you want to grow, how you want to grow. We physically chart out your revenue to be able to say, hey, right now I'm at 7 figures. My business is fluctuating between 1.5 to 4 million. However, I can't get beyond that sweet spot. So again, what I do is look at your P&Ls, see what your gross sales are for the at least a 2-year trend. And that's the reason why I was like, I really am not a person for startups, because I like to look at data. I like to be able to go into a business, look at their data, and let it tell me a story. So if you're a startup, there's really no story for me to help you tell until you actually get started. Now, just because I don't work with startups, don't mean that I'll turn you away, because again, I have a resource for that. I tend to stay exactly within my lane, which is helping business, working with CEOs and entrepreneurs who have at least been in business for 2 to 3 years. Because once you are in business for that 2 to 3 years, then on top of that, my team and I are able to come in and analyze the data and let the data tell us a story. So without any data, there's no story for us to tell. So again, coming into this growth chart, day 2 will be all about building the growth chart. If you're between 1.5 to 4 million, your next level should be 10, 15, 20 million. So for that, we'll sit down and say, hey, based upon the data that we've received from your company, either you need to get rid of products or services and restructure, or you need to expand. So there's 2 types of strategic plans. There's a restructure plan and an expansion plan. That expansion plan will tell us, okay, we're going to now take a current service that you have and we're going to expand upon it. We're going to say, okay, your current service where you, say for instance, if you're a bookkeeper, that's the one service that's make your business the most money. I'm going to say, now that you are just a bookkeeper, let's go ahead and ramp it up and expand that service for you to partner with the CPA, where you can now provide tax planning for that client. So now you're going to take it from being on the front end of that client to now being on the back end. That's an expansion of your service, which means you will charge more money, which will take you to another income level. So once we chart out your growth chart, and that's going to take some time, because there's a standard growth chart where you go from a small business to a corporation. So we look at what that looks like, and then we find where that sweet spot is for your business to be able to say, okay, this is where you're going to start. Let's say, for instance, we're looking at a $15 million 5-year plan for you. That $15 million 5-year plan, we're going to take it from where you currently are up to that $15 million level, so that the next 5 years, you're going to probably go from 15 to maybe 100 million. So in order for us to be able to do that, again, it's all about what the data is going to tell us, but it is definitely possible. One of the things that I love that Grant Cardone says all the time is that it's easier to 10x your business than 2x your business. Because if you're only 2x in your business, you're consistently thinking too small and you have not developed the right plan to grow your profits. Or it could be a situation where you just need to transition out of that business altogether, which I've talked about this a couple of times. Like, that's going to be what I'm doing. I'm transitioning out of my business in the next 1.5 to 2 years. But however, it's not because my business isn't doing any of the revenue that I want it to do. It's always been designed that way, that I will have my consulting firm for at least 7, maybe 8 years. And then I would transition into something that I really want to focus on, which is real estate development. And I have taken clients through that. As we sat down and developed a strategy, what we found is that the industry and the business that they're in is not a good fit. So instead of restructuring and expanding, we actually do a transition. And within that transition, it is for me to work with you to make sure that when you walk away from that business, that you don't walk away empty-handed to where you have to shut it down. We again develop a comprehensive plan where we're going to build up your business assets, and then you sell that business. So, and it's never, working with someone like me means it's never ever about you shutting down your business. that should never be, you should never work in a business for multi-years to just shut it down. What you should do is work in that business to sell it, especially if you don't have an heir or a child. Like, none of my children want to take over my consulting firm. So what I am going to do is my business will transition to my business operations manager. I will take small profits for a certain amount of time. Again, I'm not walking away from the business. It's all about having a transition because I have put a lot of sweat into the business. So I'm just not going to give it away. I'm not going to shut it down. What I'm going to do is sell the assets, keep the company, and turn the company into a holding company. So that's a whole nother subject for a different day. So let's jump back to the masterclass. And what you might find is being in this class is that's exactly what your business will tell you, that it's time for you to do something else. And that should be okay, as long as you're putting together a plan and you're going to be responsible about how you transition out of the business. And then once we have an assessment, which is day 1, day 2, we're going to chart your growth. And then day 3 is where we finally start to put together that plan. We finally take that system, and then we're going to now put process steps up under that so that you can actively execute that plan. So let me just say, like, I have worked with clients who have, I ask them if they have a business plan. A lot of them tell me no. Then I ask them, like, okay, well, have you put together any type of growth plan, any type of strategic plan? What are the business goals? So a lot of times, we all do it at the beginning of the year, January, February, we go to a ton of vision board events. We create these really pretty vision boards, and that's it. It's like, how are you taking goals that you're setting for your business or this vision that you're creating for your business, and how are you executing that? How are you making that into reality, or is it just a pretty picture on your wall? And a lot of times, and there are times, because like I said, I've done it. I've created, last year, we had this huge vision board party. It was such a success. Like, my vision board was bedazzled to the gods. It was so pretty. But however, it is what it is. It was a pretty vision board picture. And actually, I have 2 of them. I have one that's in my glam room, and I have one that I would keep sometime in my office. And I'm saying sometimes because it'll transition from my bedroom to my office. And again, a lot of times when we're doing things like that, where's the execution? Or is it just something pretty that we're doing? So I wanted to make sure that when I put this masterclass together, that you're going to come away from this masterclass with more than something pretty, with more than just a document on a piece of paper. No, it is going to be a plan that you can execute and you can take back to your team and say, hey, I have the vision, I have goals for each department for the next 5 years on how we're going to, 1, grow the revenue, 2, grow the team, and 3, catapult the business to the next level. For the next 3, at least for those first 3 days, that's what you're going to walk away with. And those are going to be considered VIP days. The next 2 days are going to be reserved exclusively for platinum members. So what happens with platinum members? During the next 2 days of the event, which will be the 11th and the 12th, if you're going to be a platinum ticket holder, you're going to be able to really work one-on-one with me and my team in order to make sure what you put together is within the first 3 days are going to be a truly customized plan that you'll be able to ask questions. We're going to be able to give you more tips on, how, we'll be able to tell you, hey, within this goal, you actually missed a couple of steps. So how about we break that down a little further, just so that when you take this information back to your team, you're going to be able to articulate it to them and you're going to be able to execute. Because that is the key thing. all throughout putting together a strategic plan is execution. So if you're not willing to execute, my thing is you really don't bother. And one of the things I'm going to say, a lot of times we attend these master classes, masterminds, and we get all of this information and we are so excited while we're there. But however, we don't do anything with the information once we get home or once we, leave the event, whether it's virtual or in person. We tend to take those notes, the workbook and everything, and we toss it to the side. Or what we do is we do exactly what was taught and then say it didn't work for me. Well, a lot of times you have to understand your business is different from the next business. Even if you're in the same industry, you have different cultures, you have different visions, and you definitely have different resources. You have different employees. You don't have the same resources. You don't have the same employees. Or you could go out and buy the exact same systems and try to work with the exact same resources and never get the same results. And that's typical. You should not expect to say, hey, I went to this master class and I did exactly what the person told me to do and it didn't work for my business. Well, that's because your business is different from theirs. You are different from them. What you should do is any mastermind, retreat, master class that you attend, whether it's free or paid, you should take that information, take it back to your business and look to see how that information applies to your business and the knowledge that you already have. That's the reason why it is so important to have mentors. It is so important to have coaches. And I am neither one. I'm not a coach. I'm not a mentor. I am really a consultant. I physically come into your business. I build you a system and processes within that business so that you can then turn around and work with a coach and with a mentor to make sure that you're executing those plans and that you're also getting a cheat code. Like a lot of times we don't realize as entrepreneurs, CEOs, that we really need all three. We need a consultant, we need a coach, and we also need a mentor. We need those three. Even if you are a solopreneur, you should at least have a VA on your team, but you should not go at this alone. That's also a lot of times the reason why we struggle so much in being able to go to the next level or even catapult, our business from going from 0 to 60, because we believe that we can go at this alone and we tend to spend money within our business that's not beneficial, that's not going to grow our business. Again, I'm going to double back to the Beyond Open grant that is available. Well, I think it's available. Yes, it's available. I think the application process is going to end in August here in Charlotte. Is that I know a few people who have been able to get the grant, at a couple of the times that it was offered. But however, they've spent the money and their business is still the exact same place where it was when they applied the first time. That's not what it was intended to do. It was intended to be able to fuel your business so that you can take that revenue and go to multiple levels and grow your revenue, grow your profits, grow your bottom line. And we never, ever, and just because, we don't go beyond how we're spending it, we don't look at it to say, hey, if I take this $150,000, say for instance, I am a restaurant or a person let me even dial it back a little bit more, a person who has been, utilizing a shared kitchen to be able to say, hey, I'm going to take this $150,000. I am going to invest it in a food truck. This one food truck, within the next year, I'm going to purchase another food truck because the revenue that I made from year one is going to help me double my profits so I can reinvest into the business and buy my second truck, third truck, and eventually a location. That's how, when you come to me to create your strategic plan, that's how I that's how I analyze your business in order to tell you, okay, you're going to take this money, you're going to do this, but however, you're going to take parts of that money, you're going to reinvest it back in your business in order to elevate it once more. And then again, and then again. So please, it's good to have a business plan. That business plan is supposed to be turned into a strategic plan. You're supposed to be able to say, hey, my first year that I've created this plan is going to be what I'm forecasting for my business. Because a lot of times when you create business plan, that's not your actual revenue number. That's a forecast, which is a good thing. So you want to be able to take that forecast, go through that year, working that business plan as a strategic plan so that you can go year 2, be able to analyze, this is part of my KPI reports. This is what I budgeted. This is actually my actual, did I meet my goals or did I underperform? And if so, why? So there's a lot of times that we go into business and, and I, talk to potential clients and, they'll tell me, yeah, I have a CPA. I'm like, oh, okay. So, did you and your CPA have a sit down like at the end of the year and have some type of strategy in place in order for next year, to be able to tell you, this is what you made this year. This is what you spent. This is the net profit. This is what we're going to do when we file your taxes. Now, let's take these numbers and be able to say, for next year, this is what we did this year. So next year, we're going to at least elevate at maybe a 12-13% increase. How we're going to get there. And this is just an example. But if you're not having these type of conversations, even with your CPA, what are you doing? Like, how are you really thriving if these are not the extended conversations you're having with your bookkeeper, you're not having with your CPA, and you're not having with your banker? On the last conversation that we had with one of my clients, Lakia Williams, that was one of the key things that she and I stress, is having that foundation team of your attorney, your legal team, whether it's, an attorney or, someone who has a lot of legal knowledge that can, help you on the legal side with your business, or, your banker, your banker. It should be your marketing, your sales. Like, even for those external people, they should consistently be a part of your annual conversations. Because if you're not having annual conversations, at least the minimum of annual conversations with these people, then you're failing your business. And that's one of the main reasons why you're not able to go to the next revenue level, because you're not having open, honest conversations with the people who really should be feeding you information into your business. And then, of course, you have your coaches, and you also have your mentor. And then even your team, does your team know what's going on with the business revenue wise? Does the team even have clear goals for themselves? So if you have people who work for you and you have not created goals for them, what are you doing? Like, how can they help you grow if they don't know what to do? If you're keeping all the information, or you're not creating this information within your business itself, how is it that you can help? How is it that they can help you grow? How is it that they can be a revenue producing resource for your business if they don't know what's going on? All they do is come to work every day and do what you've told them to do. And then you get upset because they're not helping bring any money in. Well, that's because you haven't set any goals for them. And that's because you haven't really, told them what it is that they should be doing, or what goals they need to reach in order to help the business grow. So you can't expect that from them, because a lot of times, when people are employees, what they're going to do is they're going to go to work, they're going to do what's required or bare minimum, and then they're going to go home. And then you, as the CEO of the company, are going to be upset because they're not helping you bring in any business. Well, that's because they don't know what you haven't told them. So these are a lot of the things that we're going to go over, like in the master class. For the first 3 days, you're going to get the system. Day 1, your business assessment. Day 2, developing a growth chart. And then day 3, putting together that strategic plan. Those who have the platinum access, on day 4 and day 5, we are going to take a deeper dive into your business. We're going to be asking about your resources. We're going to be asking about, how you are taking the goals that you've created in order to develop that strategic plan, and how you're going to filter them down to your resources. And if you don't have, any additional resources beyond a VA, really how, what goals can you create for that VA so that that VA can help you expand? But then again, what we're also going to do is create an extension of your VA by, making sure that you start to develop a personal relationship with your banker. You start to have more informative meetings with your CPA, that you start to have annual meetings with your legal team. And, if you don't have an internal marketing and sales people, really developing relationships with those type of businesses to where you can start to spend resources on sales and on marketing. And so again, Charlotte, we have the Beyond Open grant that is coming available. If you are applying for the Beyond Open grant and you need a strategic plan on how you'll be able to take, at least if you're going to the $150,000 level, reach out to me. You can DM me. My business line is in my bio. You can reach out and say, hey, Marcelle, I really want to be able to develop more than just a business plan. I want to be able to take the business plan to apply for this money, and I want to strategically make sure that it can grow to at least 10 million over the next 5 years. How can I do that? Reach out to me. You can DM me. I answer DMs, as long as it's about business. If it's about anything else, I probably won't answer. If you can also, call the number that's in my bio, you'll be able to get directly to, my office. Also, you can email me. My email is in the bio. My team will answer and get you a consultation with me. But you don't want to miss the IMPACT Masterclass. I am way too excited about it. Over those 5 days, the 3 days VIP, and then the additional 2 days for platinum, I am going to make sure that you get transformational information for your business so that you can 10x it within the next 5 years. I am going to make sure that when you walk away, that the piece of papers that will be in your hand will be a system that you can take back to your business and execute it. I am also going to make sure that if you are really dedicated, there's a commitment statement that I have at the beginning of each workbook to where you're going to make a commitment to yourself and to your business that you are not going to let this information just be something that's going to sit on your desk. You are going to go back to your business and you are going to put a plan of action in place. And even if, once the masterclass is over and you still feel like you need some additional help from me and my team, we're going to also provide you with that information to where you can continue to work with us beyond the masterclass. And just know, we're going to host more masterclasses throughout the year. So if you don't catch this one, which you would want to, because the one that we have coming up, I haven't even begun to announce who's going to be guests that will be popping in and out. But I'm going to make sure that you're not just learning. You're going to be a little entertained, but then you're also going to be able to hear from people who are doing it on a high level, who are consistently, taking their business to 10 figures, who are consistently, expanding their brand, growing their revenue, being able to take their profits and invest in other businesses, while they're running a business. So it is going to be a lot of good information. You definitely don't want to miss it. And then at the masterclass, I think the next thing that I'm going to do is one of the things I'm going to do is announce the CEO Icon Retreat, which is going to be in 2025. But I am starting to put that together now because that is going to be an event that you definitely don't want to miss. It is going to be, at a cute tropical location where we're going to have some fun. But however, it is definitely going to be about really taking a deeper dive, into your business. Because by then, if you implement your strategic plan, there's no way possible that you should not have 10x your business. So at that point, what we're going to do is, go have some fun, but also take a deeper dive into our business to where we know that the plan that we've created over the 5 years probably will shrink to a 2-year plan because the growth, your revenue, your business is going to supersede the number that you even stated in the masterclass in July. So I will be releasing more information, within the next week. So look for ways that you can purchase your ticket. Not only, does it come with a ticket, to get you access to the event, but also you're going to get your workbook. And I also have been working on what I would consider the 15 laws of power. The importance of mastering business operations. That ebook I am so excited about. And if you are getting your platinum ticket, you're definitely getting that at no additional cost. You would want to, these are 15 laws that I were able to come up with out of the 15 mistakes that I made within my business that, that I'm very open and transparent about, that cost me millions. Things that I neglected in my business or even failed to implement in my business. So I think a couple of weeks ago we left off, I did 1 through 7. So not next week, but the week after that, we're going to go through 8 through 15. But next week, I am so very much excited about one of the guests that I'm going to bring on. She is going to be a client of mine. It's another female. I will be making that announcement tomorrow, but she is so phenomenal. She is transitioning from one industry and getting heavily into becoming an entrepreneur and a CEO. She is accelerating her brand. She is accelerating her revenue. I am so very, very, very excited to have her on. So yeah, just make sure that you come back next week and join me for Coffee and Business with Marcelle and my special guest. So until then, stay safe. Keep making that money for your business. Wake up every single day and prioritize obtaining wins every day, regardless. Have a good one. Thank you for joining.